testing mic 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, so looks like I have no option. So we have to do this online. Okay, so saya akan buat beberapa video. Okay, sebab problem dia ialah exam kamu ni tak lama lagi. So today we will be learning on Hess law. So last class we already done on all sort of standard enthalpy change. Okay, kita dah pun habis lebih kurang saya rasa 8 kot, 8 ke 9. Okay, so hari ni kita masuk bahagian Hess law. Okay, so kita gunakan buku kamu untuk rujukan. Actually saya nak bagi bentuk daripada YouTube. Problem dia ialah YouTube dia tak gunakan buku kamu. Tak ada YouTube yang menggunakan buku yang kamu pakai sekarang. So Hess law. So total enthalpy change of a chemical reaction depends only on the difference between the enthalpy of the product and the reactant. It does not depend on how the reaction complete. Okay, so kamu boleh rujuk kepada chart macam jadual lah. Okay, lebih kurang flow chart. How to say, vector lah, vector. Okay, lebih kurang macam vector di sini ya. So let's say the reactant is W, the product is Z. So meaning to say dalam Hess law ni dia kata doesn't matter how you go. For example, you can change W to X then to Z, atau W to Y then change to Z, atau straight pakai shortcut. The total energy involved will be the same. Maksudnya di sini ialah simple word is H1, for example here, H1 plus H3 will be equals to H2 plus H4 will be equals to, sama juga dengan nilai dia dengan H5. So it doesn't matter how you go lah. Okay, so Hess law, that's what he state. Okay, so this one is important for your definition. Total energy change of a chemical reaction depends only on the difference between the enthalpy change. So the concept of Hess law states that overall enthalpy change of a reaction independent to its pathway. Nah, ini sangat penting overall. So consider thermochemical cycle like shown here. Okay, already explained to you. So Hess law is especially useful to calculate enthalpy change that cannot be measured. Important word here is cannot be measured directly from the experiment. For example, lattice energy. Later on kita akan lihat dalam chapter-chapter yang akan datang nanti, where we'll be discussing about lattice energy. Okay, or enthalpy of formation of certain substance. Okay, example here, calculate the enthalpy change of the reaction. Okay, let's say you're given like this. C plus H2 gives you 2C2H2. The following are the data given. So in the exam they will give you the data. You just have to make use of the data. So from this data we move on with the solution part. Okay, let's look at the solution. So what they're trying to say here, there are two methods, two ways to solve this. Okay, we look both of it. So later on there are some questions for you to do for today. So thermochemical cycle method. Here they state what? Okay, this one they write down the whole equation. This equation. Okay, I'll make it simple for you. Okay, the equation straight away I take it from here. There. Okay, from this equation, ini ialah direct. So the question is asking you delta H. Okay, they're asking you this delta H. This is the question here. So the info given here, we have C plus H2 gives you C2H2. Info yang diberi di sini adalah C plus O2 plus gives you O2, and then H2 plus half O2 gives you H2O, and then C2H2 plus 5O blah 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 and so on. These are data given. So if you notice this, macam tak ada kaitan dengan equation di atas kan? Okay, but actually this equation are related to the top one. How? See the C here? See the C here? So they are coming from the same area. So meaning to say kamu boleh buat indirectly one simple line saying that this C turns into the product CO2. You see that? C, nampak? C, from C becomes CO2. So what is the value involved? We have negative 394. And don't forget, this one involved 394 ni adalah hanya untuk 1 mol, right? Yeah, 1 mol, number 1 here. Okay, but here in the equation they're talking about 2, so kamu kena darab 2 extra. Okay, then another info is H2. I'm still not talking about O2, forget about the O2. The problem, the main idea is from C it turns into CO2, you get CO2 here. Okay, then we move on with the H2. Can you see the H2 here? H2 here in the equation. So yang ini pun pergi ke mana? This one goes to the H2O. So this one goes to the H2O. Okay? So this H2O from H2 become H2O. What are the delta H involved? Any straight, any tak ada darab apa-apa. So this one is negative 286. Okay? So now you arrive at CO2 and H2O, gabungan these two lah. So we are trying to combine these two. Then C2H2, can you see C2H2 in this equation? That. But dia terbalik. Here this is the product. Here this is the reactant. So from C2H2 becomes CO2 plus H2O. Can you see CO2 plus H2O yang baru kamu buat tadi? Okay, so actually this one is reverse process. From C2H2 it becomes CO2 plus H2O. So your value here is negative 1300 kg. Again, no need to times anything because 1 mole juga. Okay. So now, okay, got the arrow there. Okay, so this is a story. You combine all these three items into the main equation, main question. Okay, next step is how to combine these together. Okay, so similar to this story here just now, from here you want to move to here, but you have option. You can go either this way, that's the question, or you can go from there, move to here, then only pergi sini. So delta H here, in a simple word, delta H here for this case will be what? Vector. From here, from A kawasan dia, you move to B, then only you move to C. So AC equals to AB plus BC. Your mathematics a bit. This one you don't have to show lah in your chemistry. I'm just telling you, okay? Right. So delta H sama dengan AB kamu berapa? Total lah. So AB kamu ialah 2 negative 394 plus dengan ini lagi negative 286. Okay? So you arrive at B. Then after B you move to C. C pula, if you notice, this one is going down. You cannot go down. Opposite of B, opposite of this arrow. Opposite of this arrow become negative 1300. Understand? Negative? Negative because you have to turn the arrow. Sama macam yang kamu punya vector lah. Here the arrow saying C to B, but you want from B to C. So kita kena terbalikkan arrow ni. Okay. So lastly you combine all together. So once you combine all together, you get this equation. Similar to this story lah. Okay, similar to this. The one shown here, they didn't do it directly. Myself do it directly. So kamu total up, the final answer will be positive 226 kg. Got it? Okay, that's one method. Move on to the second method. This one. Second method we call it algebraic method. In the exam, they won't ask you which method to use. It's up to you. The problem is sometimes they ask you to write down the thermochemical cycle method. They ask you. So terpaksa lah belajar this method also. Okay? But algebraic method is be much more easier. Why? The first step. We go back to this one. The first step is we're going to make mathematical algebraic method. Okay? As you can see here, this part is number 1. So you must start with the question. Down here, 2C plus H2 gives you C2H2. Okay, this is the question. And then on top here, you have to combine all the information given. So that later on when you combine them, all them together, you get this answer. Okay, how do you get this? C as a reactant. So write down C. C plus O2 gives you CO2. Forget about the O2. Later on you notice that it will just disappear. Tak adalah disappear, kamu boleh potong tu saja, okay? Right. So that's your reactant. Another reactant will be there, H2. Do you have H2? There H2. So write down H2 plus half O2 gives you H2O. Okay? Now, do you have anything else? There, this one. How do you bring this one? C2H2 in the equation, info is the reactant. Here is the product. So what do you do? Kebalikan. So we start with 2CO2 plus H2O gives you C2H2 plus 5/2. Okay. When you combine them, okay, one problem here is 2. So write down lah, bukan susah. Times the whole thing with 2. So once you times with the whole thing with 2, you get C2. So this delta H also need to times 2. Negative 394. Okay. This one H2 need to times 2? No need. Because memang sudah 1 mole so you use negative 286, right? Okay, next we talk about C2H2. For the case of C2H2, for this case, since you terbalikkan, you have to turn the symbol negative into positive. Okay? Okay. So your delta H will be what? Lastly combine lah, plus saja semua. 2 negative 394 plus negative 286 plus 1300. You get the same answer as there. You see that? Positive 226 kg. Okay, let us go back to this algebraic method. Let's talk about O then. What happened to the O? Di atas ada, di bawah hilang. Why? See, before arrow, after arrow. Before arrow you have this O, there's a O2 here, and after arrow we have only this O2. So if you notice this one and this one, when you plus them together, when you total up left hand side, then you total up right hand side, dia akan saling membatal. So that's why the O2 is missing. Okay? You can try that mathematical equation. Okay? I don't want to go through that part. Alright, so that's it for today. I want you to try question number 1, quick check 7.6. Today no nota. Question 7.6, you can choose either algebraic method or thermochemical cycle method. Doesn't matter. Okay? Then number 1, you can try number 2, and yeah, number 5. Okay, as your homework. Okay, try. Tomorrow we see how. Kalau kita ada masa, we can do one more class. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 5 as your homework. Okay, that's it for today. Bye.